You know, honestly, one way or the other, when don't I get a bunch of crap for something that I've said or some opinion that I've had that somebody disagreed with? But I think there's one thing that's for certain, and that's when I flat out said that there would not be huge differences between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X in terms of this big, vast gulf, right? Like, everybody kept telling me how big a gulf there was going to be. We did see a lot of the videos from, you know, the normal people, the D-batches, the dealers, the cult. You know, we saw these videos where all these people, and we saw the tweets, and, you know, where all these people were hyping up the Xbox Series X and this huge advantage that it was going to have. And here I was, you know, trying to explain to people that, no, listen, if you actually listen to what the developers are saying, right, they've never been closer in terms of power. You know, this isn't a repeat of last generation between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. We're not going to see something like that. So, despite the fact that I did and said all of that and was 100% right, you know, people still act like I'm some big asshole, or, you know, just, you know, whatever. Nobody will ever give me any kind of proper respect or anything like that. But that's okay. That's okay. It is. But this right here, from a developer talking about the subject just today, means a lot, because it is even more vindication of what I was talking about, and it even more points out that these other people have no idea what they're saying. They just don't. But I want to get into it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here. Slap that like button. Give me a good thumbing. Thank you guys very much for checking out another one of my videos. Please like the video. That's pretty much all I ask. I mean, whether you like it or whether you don't like the video, just give me a like, and, you know, I'll keep plugging along and keep going, keep doing my thing. Much appreciated to everybody that goes ahead and checks out some of my stuff. It does mean a lot to me. So, you know, again, so far what we've seen this generation has been a lot of what I pretty much expected. A lot of even, you know, gameplay when they've done the comparison videos with Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. A lot of the times it's been even. Some of the times it's been, you know, better performance on PlayStation. Rarely has it been a win on Xbox Series X for whatever reason. But we're told that, you know, supposedly tools are late or whatever. And I guess, like, cool. I mean, here we are. We're literally almost a year into the generation, and we haven't had, you know, any kind of situation with the tools actually being readily available. So basically, there's nothing that's really out there that's showcasing supposedly what the Xbox Series X is supposed to be doing so much better than the PlayStation 5. So basically, what that has led us with is a situation where now we have, you know, people hyping up other things like Game Pass and things like that. And listen, I'm not saying Game Pass isn't something to hype up. I'm saying that, you know, like, why deviate from what you were originally hyping unless that thing is not worth hyping anymore? And so it seems like a lot of people have completely forgotten about all that power narrative and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, rightfully so, given the fact that the PlayStation 5 has routinely actually beat them in a lot of these face-offs. It's weird. So into this, though, because I thought this was a very interesting story, makes our way to us via Gaming Bolt. Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5's GPU differences are, quote-unquote, not that significant, according to the developer. According to the Parasite CEO, they give an interesting insight about the differences between the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on the GPU front. In an interview with Gaming Bolt, the Parasite CEO actually gave some awesome insights between the differences between the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on the GPU front. According to this, they also talked about some other things, of course, such as how the Xbox Series S is an ambivalent piece of hardware. He also believes that the difference between both consoles, at least on this GPU side of things, is not that significant. He also talks about the disparities between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's hardware, which, quote-unquote, took its toll on developers during the tail end of the generation. And this is what he had to say. I think the difference between PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is not that significant. I'm pretty sure that every game developer is happy that we have no recurrence of the situation from old gens, where we had a significant difference between PS4 and Xbox One, which in particular took its toll in recent years. We need to remember that if we are publishing the game on different platforms, we always need to consider the weakest hardware. And also, as he mentioned, it's also important and always important to build for the weaker hardware when working on multi-platform project. CD Projekt Red made a grave mistake of not adhering to this philosophy on Cyberpunk 2077, which led to a number of asset streaming problems on PS4 and Xbox One version of the game that still exists to this day. So we do have that to kind of shake our head at a little bit and go, hey, well, this is sort of a strange situation where we have, these consoles that are still being developed for and still kind of holding back things. So I do think that it's great that you have somebody being so honest and forthright about how, last generation was a huge difference, and I believe there was a 30% overhead between the PS4 and Xbox One, the launch editions. So yeah, there was a definite difference there, and I know that they came out with upgraded consoles later on, but at the same point in time, you have to remember that those were the least adopted consoles, right? So out of 115 million PS4s, maybe 5 million were PS4 Pros, and out of 42 million Xbox One sold, maybe 2 million were Xbox One X, I guess. I mean, that's just going off my guess. I'm not saying that as a for sure thing because we don't know the actual numbers, but they weren't incredibly huge. We do know that for sure, and obviously, most people just probably bought these consoles just for the hell of it, just to be able to play, their favorite games or a Fortnite or what have you. So we do have that kind of little interesting side avenue to look at as gamers. And yeah, I do find it to be very interesting that so many people were so quick to sort of point out that that I was wrong on everything, right? Like anytime I'm wrong about something, you'll see dudes out there, oh, well, what about this, this you, like, oh my god, give it a rest. But anytime I'm right about something like this, everybody just clams up and can't be bothered to say anything, because obviously they don't want to admit that, that I was right about something, which, it really kind of sucks, because I feel like, it's okay. Like, even if you don't like somebody, if they're right about something, why is it such a bad thing to admit that they were right about it? Like, that's the thing that kind of bugs me. I think the most when it comes to this situation is, so many people are quick to hate me without knowing me, and so many people are quick to point out anytime I'm wrong, but will never, ever, ever point out a time when I was actually right about something. So yeah, I find that to be a little bit interesting, especially considering the fact that even people that I dislike, I have no problem with admitting if they were right about something. Like, that's just how I am. That's just how I've always been. So I don't know, just a little bit strange. But what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about it? Because I feel very much vindicated that, I mentioned this, and this was not going to be a situation like last gen where, PS4 was like so far ahead of the Xbox, that it was unbelievable, and we were getting 720p. Like, even if we're getting 1800p on the PlayStation 5 versus full native 4K on the Xbox, that's not as big of a difference as, a blurry sub HD picture, because the picture qualities have become so much better nowadays. So yeah, we do have that, and I absolutely think that it's fantastic to see that developers are actually coming out and being honest about this stuff. I tried to let people know that. I mean, obviously, people are going to pay attention to me as much as some of these other people, and that's fine. I think that we all kind of have our things that we kind of are good at and kind of bad at, and just people think, for whatever reason, man, I've just been attacked the entire time I've been on YouTube, and I'm surprised that I've done anything on YouTube, given the amount of people that have just basically taken it upon themselves to kind of destroy me. And the funny part is, these people will never talk face to face or man to man or do any kind of debate or understand why I feel the way I do about certain things. It's just always some kind of other nonsense, or the resorts to name calling or some kind of stupid thing like that. So it has been unfortunate, but I've kind of learned to live with it, and hopefully, I kind of struggle back and forth. Like, I'm working on some things. Do I start a new channel? Like, I'm still at that point where I'm considering that. It is a lot of work to put into it, because I would want to go full board with it, and do I really want it anymore? You know what I mean? I think that's something that I have to kind of figure out for myself, and is that something that I'm willing to put the time and effort into to actually go out there and accomplish. I think that that's really what we'll have to kind of wait and find out and see. You know, I don't know yet, but hopefully that is something that I can figure out soon, because I don't mean to keep everybody waiting. I know some people actually do want to see me do like a podcast and stuff like that. So, you know, I haven't forgot about you. I just, you know, I'm trying to figure out what my future is with this, you know, and if I want to invest the time into the hobby, you know, like that's something that I think I have to kind of look into and go, oh, well, you know, is that worthwhile enough? Is it going to be something where, you know, where people are going to enjoy the content? What can I do to help that, to facilitate, you know, people's enjoyment of what I'm doing? And, you know, if I can't do it, then I won't do it, but hopefully I can. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. As always, rack 'em up and fact 'em up. Crapgamer out.